So, cons of a federal system. The emergence of factions. Now, let's take a second and think about what a faction is. Not a fraction, a faction. So, according to James Madison, one of our lovely founding fathers, a faction is a small group of people who have an interest, sometimes that's not in the best interest of other people. Okay. So, if you guys formed a faction, maybe there were 8 people in our class that decided that Mrs. Petty doesn't need coffee anymore. That is an interest or an idea that is adverse or that is not in the best interest of others. Okay. So James Madison he didn't really like factions. He thought they were going to be bad for the country. Okay. So sometimes because of our federal system and because we have different blocks of states all over the country, we could have the emergence of factions. Okay. There could be a group of states, for example, who think that slavery is not only necessary, but is morally okay. Perhaps those groups could get together and establish a bigger faction, and that could become a military and political crisis. Hashtag Civil War, right? That's exactly the type of factions that we're talking about here. Okay, so that's a negative that could pop up with federalism, but really you could argue that could pop up with a confederal system or a unitary system too. And you also have the potential for inequalities among the states. Okay, so depending on state laws, you could, for example, be able to drive a car when you're 14 and a half years old as opposed to 16 years old. Prior to the South Dakota v. Dole case, you could be able to drink alcohol legally at 18 in one state and not until 21 in another state. It was just all over the place. So the fact that we do have a federal system where the states do retain some authority and some sovereignty does open us up for different inequalities that could pop up across the states and the United States itself. Okay, I'm going to stop there. If you have any questions,